What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sector for Nerds. I'm Ryan Brower. Today we're here to talk about Saw Gerrera's debut in the Andor series, along with the rest of Andor Episode 8. But first up, make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, I just recently created a new YouTube channel called Top 10 Character Moments. You can find it either in the description of this video, or if you scroll over to my channel section, you can find it there as well. I highly encourage you guys to subscribe to both channels if you haven't yet, because it's free and it really helps to support me as a YouTuber. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's talk about Andor, the show that I absolutely love. Just kidding. For those who watch on a week-to-week basis, you guys know that I am not a fan of the Andor series. Now, listen, I do want to address something that maybe you guys don't notice, but I do, because I guess I'm the only one that can see the numbers at this point. So the last couple Andor videos that I've done, and I really don't necessarily know the reasoning, I can only assume, but a lot of my Andor videos have been getting more down votes than up votes, more thumbs down than more thumbs up. And you might think that I'm disappointed by this, but on the contrary, if it's for the reason why I think people are giving the video a thumbs down and it's because that they disagree with my opinions, I'm okay with that. At the end of the day, you guys are allowed to like what you want and not like what you want. Same goes for me. I have made it abundantly clear how I feel about this show. I feel like the pacing is way too slow, and I feel like this episode was very adamant about that. All three of these middle episodes in these three arc stories are always the slowest episodes. Some people like that, some people like me don't. Another thing that I have kind of realized lately is that Andor is one of the lowest viewed shows on Disney Plus when it comes to Star Wars content. So part of my feeling is the people, you guys that have been checking out my videos, are people that all watch and enjoy Andor. So I would assume you guys would come here hoping that I have good things to say about it. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, I just haven't. If you want to hear me talk about some positive Star Wars content, go check out my video that I just posted yesterday about Tales of the Jedi. Hence why this Andor video is being made and put up today, since Tales of the Jedi took priority yesterday. Alright, let's talk about Saw Gerrera. So this was one of the scenes that I actually did enjoy about this episode between Saw Gerrera and Luthen. And I've been a big fan of Luthen's character as well. And part of me was getting worried throughout this episode, because the past couple episodes, we've really only seen Luthen for a couple minutes for each episode. And to me, it's like he's been my favorite part of the show. And it's like, if we don't start doing something with him soon, I get a feeling that I'm going to stop caring. But this episode got me right back into it with Luthen, and I very much appreciated his conversation with Saw Gerrera about the rebellion and sort of where they both stood on it. Saw's been perfectly content with doing his own thing. Luthen believes in all of the rebels coming together. We need to make the Empire tighten their grip over the galaxy, because the more that they tighten their grip, the more star systems will slip through their fingers, as Leia would say. And Luthen seems to believe that sentiment as well. I love the way that they would kind of get under each other's skin. Genuinely a very amazing scene in Andor. Probably one of the only scenes that I've really enjoyed in this show so far. The stuff with Mon Mothma, I'm kind of getting over with. Don't get me wrong, I love Mon Mothma. I'm a big fan of her in Rogue One, in Rebels, and all the other stuff that she's been a part of. And here it's obviously no different, but it's just I'm starting to struggle to care, because it's all this Senate stuff that's going on. I was never a fan of any of the Senate content in the prequels, even in Clone Wars as well, which y'all know I love Clone Wars to death. Even in Clone Wars, I hated the episodes that were about the Senate. I think the only thing in the Senate that I really liked as far as Clone Wars was that speech that Padme had about defeating a bill for more clones and stuff. That it was really powerful and really moving, and after listening to it, I'm like, okay, that was really good. But most other Senate stuff, man, I could care less about. The only thing that would make me go a little crazy is if Palpatine showed up at some point, but I got the feeling it's not gonna happen. And man, the stuff with Andor, Andor is so slow. It's he's so I don't want to say clumsy, but it's just in a way, right? It's someone tells him to do something and then it takes him 20 minutes before he finally does it. I'm exaggerating, of course, but you get my point. Watch the episode. The dude tells him, hey, help me here with this, and it takes him, like, how long to freaking do it? Or the one scene where they're like, you need to get inside your cell in like 30 seconds, and he doesn't get in his cell until the very last possible second. There was no follow-up with any of the K2 droids in this episode, so I guess so much for the whole one of those droids is Alan Tudyk. Now, I'm sure he's going to be in this show at some point, but as far as when, I don't know, maybe towards the end. But we are close to the end, so yeah, I guess it would have to be the end. I don't know, you guys, like, if you look at the pacing of this show, right, and just, like, how incredibly slow it is, like, just go and watch Tales of the Jedi. I won't spoil anything in case any of you guys haven't seen it yet, but go watch Tales of the Jedi and look at what they were able to do with the short amount of time given to each episode. Like, I think the longest episode was, 18 minutes. And that's including credits and intro as well. And in some of those episodes, it's like, it feels like they've accomplished more in this one episode than this entire Andor series has done. And I guess on top of that as well, with Tales of the Jedi, it's centered around a lot of characters that I'm invested in and that I care about. With this Andor series, I really don't care about that many of the characters. I loved Rogue One. Big fan of Rogue One, one of my favorite Star Wars movies ever. But did we really need a series about Cassian? I don't think so. Sometimes things on paper sound good, but then in execution, they don't always work out. But you know what? That's just for me personally, because again, clearly, there's a lot of people that do like the Andor series. I don't know how, but at the end of the day, that's not for me to worry about and to figure out. At the end of the day, what matters is that you guys like the show, and that's what matters. Don't let me or anybody else tell you guys different. If you guys love this show, keep loving this show, keep spending time, investing, watching the episodes, continuing to support it. At this point, I'm really only watching it to make videos about it. And that's really sad for me to say too, especially when it comes to Star Wars content. Like, that's rough for me. That kind of hurts. For those who think I take pleasure in making these videos, I don't, okay? Like, I want to like everything Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars nerd, for crying out loud. You really think I want to come on here every single week for the past how many episodes we've had now and be like, this show sucks? I want to talk about how great something is. That's why I love that we had Tales of the Jedi yesterday. Like, that was just... my goodness, that meant everything to me, you guys. Please go and watch that video if you haven't yet. It's really good. All right, you guys, that's going to wrap us up for today. Let me know your thoughts about Andor in the comments below. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel. Go subscribe to Top 10 Character Moments as well, and I will see you guys next time.
Jedi. Ahsoka is Jedi.